Observation. Multi-screen viewing engages me like the kinetic equivalent of an abstract or impressionist painting. Words and images evade rational analysis, allowing subliminal hints of the future to leak through. Transient and elusive, these must be grasped quickly. Computer animations imbue even breakfast cereals with an hallucinogenic futurity. Music channels process information blips, avoiding linear presentation, implying limitless personal choice. These reference points established, an emergent worldview becomes gradually discernible amidst the media's white noise. An era of the conceivable made concrete, and of the casually miraculous. Observation ends. Vite, New York time, 11:18 p.m. Log and file. It's all right, girl. In these conditions, our visitors won't yet be within 10 miles of Karnak. Ah, you see? Really, getting even this far is a breathtaking effort, given their limitations. It must be so disorientating. Their pursuit leads them deeper into moral and intellectual regions as uncharted and devoid of landmark as the territories currently surrounding them. Let's hope they know where to stop. Okay. Looks like there's no option other than a direct approach. You can't creep up without cover, and it's pointless waiting for darkness up here. There isn't any. Untrue. Just isn't any of kind we can use. If Vite truly engineering Third World War, we are approaching Heart of Darkness. Those brochures, all that crap we took from his desk, it didn't read like someone out to carve a headstone for humanity. And anyway, this is Adrian, for God's sake. Why would he want to destroy the world? Insanity, perhaps. Who's qualified to judge something like that? This is the world's smartest man we're talking about here. How can anyone tell if he's gone crazy? Well. Come on, old girl. We have a few matters to attend to before they get here. I suppose I've been waiting for an opportune moment, but there's no point putting things off any longer. And no time like the present. Not coming any further, no? Fair enough. You wait here. This won't take a moment. Hello, my friends. I've finished my work now, and I'd be honored if the three of you would join me for a small drink in the vivarium before dinner. I have something to celebrate. Vite out. Partying. Holocaust coming. Goddamn knothead's got a party. I can hear that, God forbid I call it music, clear from Madison Square. Davidstown slept. Deserted save for silence. I entered my former residence noiselessly. Careful not to rouse the butchers occupying it from their debauched slumber. They'll all come out fighting drunk, and it's right down the avenue. I tell you, this is a bad intersection. You never know what's gonna turn up next. Unaware that death was amongst them, they'd know its dark embrace without ever understanding why. One, however, was awake. Oh, hi. Get you something? Nah, guess Josephine posted this like she said. Joseph? Oh, Joey! You must be her... girlfriend, ex. We've been fighting. In cataract darkness, I bludgeoned him. Oh, well, I ain't seen her lately. No pirates came, but something worse. I looked up into faces familiar, save for their terror. No sweat, I'll wait outside the Promethean. I'm not relishing the encounter. Listen, tell her hustlers due in tomorrow. The children wailed. I looked down at the figure beneath me. Through puffed and bloodied lips, she mouthed my name. Huh? What'd I say? Don't go away mad. There came an understanding so large, it left no room for sanity. Huh. Times like these, people gotta be hostile. Me and Rosa should have quit this town like she wanted and escaped from everything. I ran, but the knowledge of my damnation paced me, gloating, celebrating its awful victory. Mr. White, this is indeed an honor. Might we inquire what it is that provides occasion for such generosity? A life such as mine offers many things worthy of celebration, my friend. You need only look about you. Might I not celebrate the fortunes that have made this vivarium possible? A miraculous bubble of Tropicana set into endless sub-zero wastes. 2 alien universes separated by a membrane of fragile glass. What in my life does not deserve celebrating? But you are right, of course. Today marks an event especially worthy of such attentions. In many ways, it represents the culmination of a dream more than 2,000 years old. Although to uncover the reasons for my current elation, one need not delve quite so deeply into antiquity. A mere 40 years will suffice, back to my childhood. My parents reached America the year I was born, 1939. Entering school, I was already exceptionally bright, my perfect scores on early test papers arousing such suspicion that I carefully achieved only average grades thereafter. What caused such precociousness? My parents were intellectually unremarkable, possessing no obvious genetic advantages. Perhaps I decided to be intelligent, rather than otherwise. Perhaps we all make such decisions, though that seems a callous doctrine. By 17, my parents were both dead, and I faced a different decision. My inheritance offered lifelong idle luxury, and yet, needing nothing, I burned with a paradoxical urge to do everything. Do you understand? My intellect set me apart. Faced with difficult choices, I knew nobody whose advice might prove useful, nobody living. The only human being with whom I felt any kinship died 300 years before the birth of Christ. Alexander of Macedonia. I idolized him. A young army commander, he'd swept along the coasts of Turkey and Phoenicia, subduing Egypt before turning his armies towards Persia. He died aged 33, ruling most of the civilized world, ruling without barbarism. At Alexandria, he instituted the ancient world's greatest seat of learning. True, people died, perhaps unnecessarily, though who can judge such things? Yet how nearly he approached his vision of a united world. I was determined to measure my success against his. Firstly, I gave away my inheritance to demonstrate the possibility of achieving anything starting from nothing. Next, I departed for northern Turkey to retrace my hero's steps. I wanted to match his accomplishment, bringing an age of illumination to a benighted world. I wanted to have something to say to him should we meet in the Hall of Legends. I followed the path of Alexander's war machine along the Black Sea coast, imagining his armies taking port after port, ancient blood on ancient bronze. Strangely, before subduing Phoenicia, he struck north towards Gordium. Perhaps because of the challenge it presented, the ancient world's greatest puzzle was there, a knot that couldn't be untied. Alexander cut it in two with his sword. Lateral thinking, you see, centuries ahead of his time. Heading south, he entered Egypt through Memphis, where they proclaimed him son of Ammon, judge of the dead, whose name means the Hidden One. Under rule from Alexandria, the classic culture of the great pharaohs was restored. I followed him through Babylon, up through Kabul to Samarkand, then down the Indus, where he first met elephants of war. Where he'd turned back to quell dissent at home, I traveled on, through China and Tibet, gathering martial wisdom as I went. Alexander returned to Babylon to die of an infection, aged 33. Amongst its ruined ziggurats, I saw at last his failings. He'd not united all the world, nor built a unity that would survive him. Disillusioned but determined to complete my odyssey, I followed his corpse to its resting place in Alexandria. The night before returning to America, I wandered into the desert and ate a ball of hashish I'd been given in Tibet. The ensuing vision transformed me. Wading through powdered history, I heard dead kings walking underground, heard fanfares sound through human skulls. Alexander had merely resurrected an age of pharaohs. Their wisdom, truly immortal, now inspired me. What intellectual magnificence their system encouraged. Ptolemy, seeking the universe's pivot from his lighthouse at Pharos. Eratosthenes, measuring the world using only shadows. Their greatest secrets, however, were entrusted to their servants, buried alive with them in sand-flooded chambers. Adopting Ramesses II's Greek name and Alexander's freebooting style, I resolved to apply antiquity's teachings to today's world. Thus began my path to conquest. Conquest not of men, but of the evils that beset them. Today, that conquest becomes assured, in which your unquestioning assistance has proven invaluable. Do you comprehend the triumph to which you have contributed? The secret glory that it affords? Do you understand my shame at so inadequate a reward? Boy, this is some kind of dump, right? It's where I work, okay? Not in some dinky little magazine office with a bunch of guppies. Hey, fella, excuse me. I'm meeting my brother. He's the manager here. Know where he's at? Milo's in the front office. Gets off around 11:30. Josephine, can we walk for a while? I don't think there's any way we can salvage this relationship. Uh-huh. So that's it. Just like that? I tried my goddamn best, acting like you wanted me to. See, over there? I put your stupid dyke disco poster up. Sure. Same place you buy Hustler. Listen, I don't have to justify anything to you. I like nice chicks. You give me this political shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Look, this book's about relationships. I think if you read it, it'll help you understand what's happened to us. I don't want to understand shit. I just want to go to bed with you one time. Joey, please, I can't handle this, and I want to be straight. Oh, Joey, don't. And I want to be dead. Eventually, I came to an ash-colored shore, a dismal black ocean stretching endless before me. How had I reached this appalling position with love, only love as my guide? Behind me, distantly, a lynch mob howled. Morally, we ought to strike first. Where was my error? The freighter was heading for Davidstown. It should have already arrived. My deduction was flawless, step by step. Pausing, I stood panting, sobbing, listening to the wind-borne sound of my pursuers, closer now as breath returned. Planning to resume my flight, I raised my head, excuse me, and saw her. My husband's a gentleman of color, buys his paper here nights. Has he been by? She seemed to be waiting, not hovering to strike. Forget it, I see my husband now. The unspeakable truth loomed unavoidably before me as I swam towards the anchored freighter, waiting to take extra hands aboard. There'd been no plan to capture Davidstown. The ship was larger, nearer. I kept swimming. All my well-meaning plans had come to this. I choked, spat out brine, and struck grimly on. They'd come to Davidstown to wait until they could collect the only prize they'd ever valued, claim the only soul they'd ever truly wanted. My shoulders ached. The ship was massive now,